Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is going to be the checking out all the monthly prize walls, giving you guys my thoughts on them, kind of what I would target, both with Mherex, my main account, and my free-to-play in mind, kind of give you two different perspectives, right? Because what I need and what I can do and what I have is very different between the accounts, right? If you're wondering what's up on the screen, that's the half-off prize wall. If you buy the $100 starter pack, it unlocks the half off wall with additional stuff that aren't on the other month-long prize wall. So that's what that is up on my screen right now. Let's get started and just kind of look through the prize walls themselves that I have, the free ones. If you want to see more on the kickoff one, limited time, I did a preview on that one with a breakdown yesterday. It's a great, great wall. A lot of awesome stuff on there. So yeah, you can check that out there. I thought that was worth its own, and I wanted to get it out earlier because it was a shorter duration. So that video is already up. You can check it out. I posted it yesterday. As far as the Champions Dynasty prize wall, honestly, I think this is actually pretty good, even the not half off one. There's a lot of people that don't have Relentless KO yet, and the meaningful amount of shards for all of these guys, right? Um, the Sammy probably not so much, right? But still, if you don't have him and it recruits him, relatively inexpensive with the whole month to get those. The Mercy shards are great. Personally, the free to play is all in on Smash, because that makes it easier to evolve him, right? So keep that in mind if you're trying to evolve Smash. Aggressive powerhouse shards can be hard to come by. So that is kind of my pick out of the shards on the free to play. And then, I haven't recruited Alistair Black, so I wouldn't mind picking those up to get closer to recruiting him on the free to play. So there's that, right? But all in all, I think this is a pretty good assortment for shard options for like free players, and if you've missed out on some of these guys, to get a decent chunk of shards. So I think that's fine. As far as like if you're a paid player, these shards are not really going to do much for you at all, right? For the most part. So like Mherex couldn't care less about those, but the free to play loves the shard options, if that makes sense. So I think the two different completely views there. Uh, I'm not a fan of gambling on random straps. You get these through events, right? Like it doesn't make sense to me to gamble on these straps here at all. Like not even a little bit. The straps will come. Not I wouldn't use prize well currency where you can pick your needs specifically. And then going down to these, the token bundles, I usually don't get on any character. Mherex completely ignores these, and then the free to play, they're so expensive for what they are, I don't worry about it. And honestly, I have way more tokens than I do shards on the free to play, and on Mherex, I have plenty of tokens and plenty of shards. So from those two perspectives, I don't care about these two rows. Now, that being said, if I had somebody that I loved and I knew they were going to be a game changer on my roster, and I needed to buy this pack at the end of the month, I also wait till the end of the month to make my prize wall choices, by the way, because you never know what's going to happen. I don't buy any of this stuff early. Um, Although, if it recruited somebody awesome for you, then that would be a different story, right? If it recruited someone awesome for you, then yeah, I get it. But if it's somebody you love and you're going to take them up at the end of the month, but you're lacking tokens or whatever, then I could see getting this pack. But I also probably would be more patient than buying the tokens, to be fully honest with you guys. Moving down to these, right? This pack is pretty solid. It's 5,000 TP for 480 currency. That's your best chunk of TP out of any of these, right? And TP is much harder to come by than coin. No TP here, right? There's 4,000 in here, but look at the price difference. It's like 2.5 times, maybe even closer to to 2.8 times more expensive for less TP. So if you're hurting for TP, this is by far the best pack to build. Buy 25 tokens for McCool is literally a drop in the bucket. I actually kind of hate this pack. Um, unless you just have nothing else. You have so much currency, it doesn't matter, right? The combo pack 3, I mean, I don't like this either, to be honest. As far as the coin ones go, if you bought this 10 times, it would be 5.3k for 300 million coin. Not that much. You do get a couple of these in there. The coin just isn't a good price to me on this, really. I would probably buy, honestly, both of the TP packs before the coin on the free to play, or on Mherex for that matter. Coin flows way more friendly than TP in events and stuff, so I would go that route. I kind of hate this pack. People will buy this to get tour perks and then some of these things to unlock feud perks because they short us these to level up all the stuff. It's so expensive. I find this one really not worth it. I never buy this actually on either character. Um, so take that for what it's worth. The minis are whatever. This is kind of leftover what you do with. I feel like the prop power is a must buy. And then depending on how many health packs you have, this may or may not be a must buy. 5,000 actually hardly any, so I try to stay away from buying this completely. But the prop power is a must buy. So really, this is guaranteed to buy on both accounts. And then this is I'll buy on both accounts with what I have left. And then in Mherex's case, to be fully honest, guys, he's just about the resources, and I basically clean out these three every time. But on the free to play, I mostly just get some of these. This month, though, like I said, I'll probably buy some one part starter pack for McCool's stuff. Not starter pack, but next week the tokens, the heads, the evolve tokens for her, and the shards. I'll get at least one, but I do want to take her 6-star. So if I can't get the fuse at the end, which it's going to be really hard on the free to play to get 500,000 MLC points, but really that would be my goal. So I probably won't, to be honest. Just other than the first week to get the fuse, I probably won't purchase any of those. I can't see myself doing that because really these two are what I'm looking at on the free to play, and I wouldn't mind starting to collect a decent chunk of mercy shards too, because he's also in the you can also get him here, hype for him, on the regular in the right in here, the Titan store. There we go. He shows up in here all the time. So he's easy to get hype for at 20k a pop for 10 hype. It's a much more efficient, than using wildcard hype. So Mercy, and he's solid, right? Mercy and Julius show up in here all the time. They're two of the better ones to wait for currency for, really, to be honest. So keep that in mind. If you're close to Mercy, you can also get there's a really easy way to get hype for him over time. You're gonna for sure get some. So that's how I feel about this wall. Again, I think it's solid for free. For paid, it's pretty much the same as always, but I do like it for free. Now, going to the half off, I think the half off is great this month. But you gotta drop $100, but it opens up all kinds of 300 shard options. My favorite on here, if you don't have her, would probably be Sherry, just because of the training ability. You're gonna use it all the time, right? One of my most used trainers still. So if that got Sherry, that would be. And I see why she's so expensive, because she literally is the most used trainer. If you're talking about value, I think Kamala is like way high price for what he is. I think Coco is super cheap for what he is, and where you might be shard wise. But I would prioritize it honestly. Axe is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So I would go Sherry 1, Axe 2. Hakus are super cheap too, like crazy cheap, even better value probably than Coco, because Haku's probably stronger than Coco once you get all this stuff. But I like both of those characters a lot. The Drew isn't bad for value. I do find, even though I have Drew, I like other showboats more now, but he is really good. And to be fair, I don't have the gear on Mherex, so there's that. Swoggle, I don't particularly care for his gameplay loops, to be honest. They're not ideal for the way I like to play. Some people love him, and he is fun and he is unique, so there's that. But Hall of Fame Ron is also amazing if you can get hype for him. Very, very good striker. But like to me, like it's Sherry, Axe, um, Haku, Coco that really jump out price wise to me. And Vader's really solid showboat too, but again, showboat is pretty stacked, right? There's a lot of potential. This is the best showboat on my roster, guys. If you have them, there's a lot that are really close. Like there's probably 10 showboats that you can crush with, you know, and I don't think I might not even be exaggerating that, right? So all in all, I think it's a pretty great half off wall. It's also a pretty great free wall, if you're a free player, assuming you're missing some of these, right? And then the rest of it, you know, if you don't buy the half off but you have all the stuff, it's just a normal wall. So all in all, I'd say it's a pretty good month for the prize wall there. Moving on to the chip one, pretty regular. The plate is not like great. The chest is what it is. If you like gambling, there's some great stuff in here. There's also some horrible stuff. So pretty standard, right? I don't like gambling on the chest, but if you get lucky, it's the greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? As far as these tokens, I think Maxine is a big prize here. Maxine can be very strong, Lady Showboat. Now, that being said, I do like Becky way more. But Maxine has a pretty. If I need to double check her training ability real quick, because I'm drawn. I want to say it's something with pyros that's very useful for like Regal. If I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. Let me look that up. Um, Maxine loses some of her luster to me because Becky is so good, and I have Becky and all of that. She's got a gear that makes her better. Yeah, her trainer is blue moves start with 2 more MP. Pyro gems do 18,000 more damage, and moves that generate pyro create 4 more. So if you have like Regal's MP gear, Maxine can be really clutch on Regal for getting all of those pyro gems, right? So she's a really solid potentially trainer. Anytime you get a generate special gem type like 4, that's awesome. I wish we had a snowfall version of her in the game. That would be make Austin, Motu Austin way more relevant, right? So Maxine's a really solid trainer. As far as Dusty, I believe he's sub trainer. And Dusty, you're not going to use as your tech fighter. He can hit hard, but it's not really. Oh, he's power gems in blue MP, not sub. Power gems in 2 blue MP. 50% power gem. Eh, it is what it is. I think Maxine is the better trainers of the two if you're looking for those. And as far as fighters go, you're going to have better. Like I have Becky, so I don't necessarily care about Maxine. But for Maxine and Dusty requirements, they're both good. So I think it's a fine token one. Last month I took Goldberg because he's the Juggernaut trainer for an extra Juggernaut. He's one of one there, the only one that does that. So there's that. And then this is the standard offers. These, of course, can be very useful for the limited time prize wall if you get an emblem or two early to get some crazy stuff there. And these are kind of hold in reserve in case you need them to recruit. Right. So I wait till the end of the month to decide. I'm probably leaning towards Maxine. As far as Randy Orton RK Bro, I wouldn't get him at all. To be honest, I would leave that one alone. So that's kind of that wall. I think it's a strong one this month. Nothing wrong with it. I do think last month's was probably better just because Goldberg is such a unique coach at this time in the game. As far as the armory goes, stay away from this bundle. It's terrible. Drew gear, crazy expensive. You'd have to spend a ton of money to get here. Personally, I don't think it's worth it, but at the same time, I have some serious showboat bias with the showboats I have. I love Zombie Penta, like over the moon about him. Dudinator Sammy is just ridiculously good. He's one of my favorite cards in the game. So is Zombie Penta, to be fair. And I know when I get Dom, this month's Dom, he'll be one of my favorites too because of how diverse his kit is. So I honestly don't care about this one for me. But you might like it if you're a Drew Mark and you have Showboat Drew. It makes him hit so much harder. But you have to spend a lot to get this much armory currency. Wait till the last day, you get way better offers. Julia gear is great. It's MP gear. If you had to save the whole month for this and you can get there or get there with a small spend, I think it's absolutely worth it, especially you have hype for her. I think Zombie Bliss is the best powerhouse, and very for ladies, and very close is Julia, especially if you have gear and moment. You could argue Julia um, is better in a 1v1 scenario, but like what Bliss brings with all of the zombie links and her unblockables and stuff, I think I like more, to be honest. I think she's a little more versatile in other game modes besides feud, but I think Julia is redonkulous, and heaven forbid if they ever give us a red Piper plate, Julia will be an absolute demon for damage. So there's that, right? And this gear, MP gear, is always useful. It saves you MP trainers and stuff. So big fan of this gear. Like the value there. These 500 shards, I think they're all great value. They're all great cards. They're all very useful. Ray Phoenix to me is the best, is just because of his training ability with the bleed. Um, that works on juggernauts and traps, right? So, and if you're into using bleed people, Ray Phoenix, he's so good because of that ability. Not the best fighter. Best fighters are Haku and Jacqueline and Drew. They're all really good fighters, actually. Haku is probably the best with good stuff. Like, he's kind of crazy with everything. He hits ridiculously hard in a loaded class of striker. But I think all three of these are great, like really great and good value, to be honest. They, if this recruits them for you, it's probably worth saving your hype currency all month to recruit them. Like, I would not have an issue with that. If I didn't have them, I would save my hype currency all month to recruit them on Mherex. Free to play, I won't get this much in 500 shards for any of these. Wouldn't do him anything, I don't think. I will double check on Ray Phoenix because he would be crazy on the free to play. But honestly, I have Penta now, and actually kind of prefer, I definitely prefer Penta Acro to Ray Phoenix, so I don't know that I care. These are stupid prices. Like, not even kind of worth the cost here for what they are. All of these, actually. I wouldn't save the whole. Devon is a little closer. Save the whole month if you have a punk strap and stuff. But I mean, like, that's you probably got to spend to get there. And if you're there, I'd rather have the Julia gear. Assuming I had Julia, right? So not really a fan of those. These I think are all fine, like to really good if you can get there. In particular, Julius. Also, Julius, like Mercy, shows up in the Titan shop, so he's very easy to get hype for. Julius really needs, at the very least, a Tama plate, preferably Tama, and it's a trap. So my free to play is gonna save all month, kind of eyeballing one of these two. Sammy is a nice consolation prize if you wanted to pick up a silver. 6-star silver. He's not great, but he's not horrible. So if you're like a newer account like my free to play, and you, if my free to play didn't have, for example, special edition Cena at 6-star gold, then I would think about Sammy. But in most cases, he's not really worth the currency. You have better, unless you just started and somehow get here. Now, the red reinforcement plate, red is actually probably the best of the single colors because there's a lot of good reinforced people. Seth and Vader in particular come to mind, and I know there's more that use red, but Seth and Vader are the big two that come to mind. Uso Cap, I'm a big plate guy, like a really big plate guy, and I don't know if I care about this on either account, just because green gem is so specific and 8 silence gems can be a lot. If I don't get it on the free to play, I'm sure I'll regret it. Blue Flurries is okay. I prefer the rainbow ones. The price isn't terrible though. So Blue Flurries is a possibility. Blasting off again, not the greatest plate. There's a few places it works okay, but not the greatest plate, to be honest. And it's super expensive. Again, I'd much rather have Julia gear. So there's that. The 150% random class era strap, not worth it at all. I also think the Ultimate Hall of Fame gem damage strap is not worth it. They, even though they do a terrible job of giving us an option for Hall of Fame straps, they're like, my free to play doesn't have a single Hall of Fame strap, I don't think. 83,000 for a random class that probably won't roll the one I need, which is Showboat. 1 in 6 chance. Yeah, I can't get behind that. I can't spend that much Armory currency on having a 1 in 6 chance to get something useful to me on something like a strap. So that's just Scopely needs to do a better job getting Hall of Fame straps into the pool somewhere. And this is not the way, because it's a horrible compared to the value of other stuff. It's just really bad. So yeah, I don't like the value on any of the straps at all in there. So I would rate this though as a pretty strong wall, right? So just for full transparency, last month's I didn't think was a good wall on either character. I just did gear pulls all month on both characters, both Mherex and the free to play account, because there was nothing in here I wanted on either account. This month, um, the free to play is definitely saving, hoping to get here. Mherex, the only thing he is missing, he's missing the Drew gear, which I know I won't get that much. And I don't care about these two plates enough for it to be worth it. So Mherex is going to spend his currency again this month, but it's more of a decision this month. And then the free to play also has choices here. So I rate this as a definitely better or improved over last month's Armory, at least to me, viewing at it through the lens of both accounts that I run. You may or may not agree. I do think this one is better this month than last month. So that, I think, is that all of the walls? On this one, I think it is, right? So now let's look at the Armory loot and stuff. So last month was zombie month. So the gears didn't make their way in because it's zombie stuff. So Nova Care gear and that. I still really love the gear loot. I mean, I the Pentagear is very nice. A Twisted Bliss gear is very nice. I would love, so like I'm still going for this on Mherex. I cannot get this gear to save my life. I want it really bad, like really bad. Big Kev gear is nice if you have all the gears. Pentagear is awesome, especially if you get both of them. Alliance Steve gear is actually really good. Piper gear I want on the free to play quite badly. Bex gear is amazing. Mommy gear is ridiculous, right? Haku gear insane. The Lex gears are great. Julia gear, amazing. Smash gear. Oh, Mherex has been chasing that, and he just can't get him. And the free to play has that. So he's super jealous. There's Penta's other gear. I guess that made it over, so that's cool. So I still love the gear loot. Gunther gear's nice. McCool gear's amazing. Yeet gear amazing. Punk gear amazing. JBL is so ridiculous with gears, guys. Like absolutely insane. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the gear loot, to be honest. Some of the gears are complete game changers, right? And they do keep porting the stuff over. I wish we would see Vicaire gear, but it was Halloween, so I'm not surprised in crazy amount of damage. That's one I want on Mherex for sure. But I do really like the gear loot. I'm still going to go for it this month on Mherex, probably just because I want the Smash gear so bad. Like so bad, and the Alexa gear actually really bad. The free to play, if I save all month and I don't get where I want, I'll definitely be doing the gear pulls because the Penta gear would be life changing on the free to play. The Piper gear would be really handy. I want to get the Bliss gear, and then both Lex gears would be really nice too. I think I still need those. And I take the Gunther gear, absolutely, since I have them gold, right? A lot of the other stuff I don't have or isn't useful. I think I have both Goldberg gears now on the free to play too. So there's that. Waller gears are nice. So yeah, I think I'd be inclined to say that, but let's look at the other ones. I will say last month, I don't know, guys, let me know if it was you. I didn't have enough to do at the end of the month on the free to play, a full 30 pull, where I would have went for gear. So I did 2 5 pulls on this one, and I got in the super rares, and I actually got a bunch, and I don't know if I got lucky, but I got a bunch of actually tier 6 medals. So I do like that because the free to play was struggling a little bit getting some tier 6 medals, in particular move damage with Fury. So I only had one set, and I think I have 3 sets now. So I think I probably got lucky, but I did get a bunch of these pulling the super rare. So I do like that. The plates obviously are amazing if you hit one of the rainbows in particular. It's just massive, massive, massive. So I actually like this loot quite a bit. The crossfire loot plates are so good. They're my favorites in the game right now. I love those. So I do really like the armory. And then the zombie moment did not carry over to be expected because of zombies. I honestly, you may disagree with this, but I honestly wish there was no characters in here. Because pulling a character is really disappointing when you're going for a moment. But the new Dom moments in here, you got the Dudley Boys, which is good, the wedding moment, Imperium moment, NXT moment. Stone Cold Beer Bath is ridiculously good, by the way. Um, these are solid. Wyatt 6 versus American Made. Mherex still doesn't have that one. So it's somewhat tempting maybe to chase that. I think he still might be missing Tiffy time. He's missing one of Tiffy's moments. Free to play wouldn't chase moments at all. I'm nowhere where I even remotely care about them. I think the gear is way more impactful. Um, so yeah, the evolution moment is crazy good. I would love that on the free to play though. So I think the moment one is fine, but it's always my least favorite, no different this month. Um, and just because there's really only one moment I want in Mherex, I can't see pulling for it probably. When I'm mostly gonna probably hit posters anyway and not the moments, and I don't like that at all. So to me, the two best are still the armory and the gear. Um, in Mherex's case, I focus plates really heavily, so I have most plates. I'm still missing the Kofi plate in here, but I have the rest, I think. So I never really go for that. And then I just feel like the gear, like on prize walls, gears are always really expensive, and they're only help like one person, where plates help tons of people. So like I kind of focus on plates on prize walls because it's guaranteed. I know I'm gonna get them. And then if I'm gambling, I'd rather do it with the gears because you don't know what you're gonna get, but if you get it for the right people, they're super impactful. So I actually really like the armory gear loot, which is maybe weird because of how big I am on plates. But like the Smash Repo Man gear, draining 4 MP automatically, that's useful. I don't care who you are, free to play or paid, that's useful, right? As a showdown defense, showdown offense, feud, if you're not charged or you need 2 cycles to win. I mean, the Smash gear, that's maybe low key one of the best gears in the game. And because of the doors it opens up on any level of account, right? The Bliss gear is super strong if you like your 2-click build, and you guys know I love 2-click builds. Right, all of the MP gear is so crazy good. Like those gears when they show up on prize walls are an insane amount, usually more than one of the best plates, and sometimes even as much as twice as more as the best plates. So to me, I think the gear loot is the one to do of the randoms. I think they continue to do a really good job with the armory stuff. The only thing I would change, and I'm curious what you guys think, is I really do not like the posters being in here at all. Maybe you like it, but even my free to play, I'd rather go for moments when I'm going for moments. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like as it gets diluted for stuff. Or put the better idea, put the posters in the lower tier, right? The lower tier of this, put them in the very rare instead of the featured. That's what I would do. So let me know what you guys think on that. So I think that's all the walls. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. But it looks like a really nice monthly prize wall. So I do like that. Again, just if you didn't watch it, you can watch my breakdown on the kickoff one, which is absolutely ridiculous. In particular, my favorite is the Rainbow Crossfire plate. I love that plate. And then Rainbow Explosion is really strong. Frankie the Parrot, really strong. Enigma's really good, but not as strong as those. But those are my top 4 items on there. But you can watch the breakdown specifically on that for a lot more. And yeah, in general, I think it's a good month. Let me know in the comments what you're trying to save for. If you're saving, if you're not saving, what Armory currency you're gonna pull on, and that kind of stuff. I'm always curious what you guys think. So hopefully this is helpful. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like, subscribe, and share because that really helps me out. Other than that, good luck out there. And have a good month. It looks like there's some really good stuff here. So let's hope we can snag some of it and have a fun month in champs this month. You know.